Okay, good evening everyone. And now for something completely different. How are you keeping up? You can make some noise, because if not, I'm gonna make some music today, or at least try. So, who am I? I'm Jan Van Wassenhov. I'm lead architect at Sopra Steria for the design and develop business line. But I'm also the creator of the Scrum programming language. So whenever you type in Scrum programming language, you can try it out and may even become a Scrum master if you like, a real Scrum master. So please check it out. Also, you can find me on Instagram as Mighty John, as my alter ego, or on SoundCloud, because we're going to make some music, no? Aren't we? So, you see some pictures of me at concerts, at music concerts, but that's about the closest I get. Maybe sometimes backstage, but never me playing an instrument or singing or doing something, whatever. Unless for my boy over there, he plays the drums. My wife knows how to sing, knows how to play the piano. And I'm always left behind. I like listening it, but I would like to perform as well. So, yeah. But I'm a coder, I'm a developer, so we can do something different. So I came up with something else. So this is what I came up with. It's MusicAgent. It's actually a tool that bridges the gap between AI, LLMs, and coding, developing using Sonic Pi. So it's actually bundling your creative expression using your coding knowledge, as well as creating music based by using LLMs, by using AI. So exploring new boundaries and actually really harmonizing code and melody all together. So, in brief, MusicAgent, it's a homegrown project. Somewhere in the public holidays, Christmas holidays, it started developing, and it's something came out, mostly coded in Python. It's all open source, so you can, all after this talk, you can all check it out and also try to create your own music, and it's available on GitHub. As mentioned, it's based on LLMs and also even use image model generation for the pretty albums at the end. And in the end, what will it do, the tool? It's capable of creating a complete new electronical sound. I'll explain why, as an end result. So, what does it deliver? It will create a Sonic Pi song as a code, but it will also produce a real recording of the song, if you like it. It will produce an album cover and even a booklet with some lyrics and the full instrumentation arrangements of your song you wanted to do. But before this, I never thought about creating a song, because creating a song involves a lot more than I thought that it was. It involves songwriting, it involves creating the arrangement, putting the instruments on the right place, knowing when to launch which chorus, when which verse. It also involves the real actual recording of the song, remixing, mastering, and in the end, publishing, making it public available for everyone. So, how do we do that with MusicAgent? There's one fine trick. We pray to the AI God. They're up to help us. No, it's a bit different. So, first of all, MusicAgent, behind the scenes, is a multi-agent system. It's a MAS. So, meaning we'll be using multiple autonomous agents, all with a different task, an individual focus and mission on what they want to achieve, but all together they come to achieve a common goal. So, within MusicAgent context, what does that mean? We're going to create a song, but some agents are going to think about the lyrics. Some agents are going to think about the harmony, putting it all together, creating a rhythm. And that's something I like, for sure. You don't want to see me dancing, so that's why I'm creating music. In the end, we're all collaborating all together to create this new song. So, in doing so, there are quite some challenges to overcome. First of all, some technical hurdles. We're going to do this with Sonic Pi. Why Sonic Pi? Yeah, it's Ruby. I'm a Java developer. I kind of like Sonic Pi. The first time I saw Sonic Pi a couple of years ago at Devox by Sam Aaron being presented, I immediately got attached to it. I wanted to use it myself because I would be able to I can develop code and I can create a song with it, something I cannot do on a guitar or on a piano. because I'm just not capable of doing it. So, but Sonic Pi comes with some limitations. It mainly produces electronical music. There are some possibilities, adding samples, for instance, in which you can add lyrics, text, even sounds of speech within the song. And second difficult part is the LLM usage, because handling the LLM, yeah, it's all about finding the right prompts. And we'll be steering multiple agents all together. They have to use the correct prompts. They have to be able to correspond, talk with one another in a correct way. And it's also about promoting the right answer, because one agent talking to another agent, it doesn't always come with a perfect solution in the end. And of course, take into account the token limitations, which are, of course, important. There's a limit to everything. Secondly, it's all about chaining the agents. We'll be iterating multiple times through the agents. We'll choose when to modify, to recreate, to change our song. We'll interact ourselves as well. But we have to keep this context, this conversation context living and being passed through all the chain. And in the end, it's the choice of models. So for this project, I mainly interact with OpenAI, but it could be whatever model. And there are a lot of changes in the model, because we're creating a new song with an LLM. Kind of strange. I'm not using a text-to-speech model in this case, I'm using an LLM. So based on text, we're going to create a new song. But something that an LLM does quite well is creating code, or generating code, or giving us advice in code. So there's a lot of difference within the different models, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that a newer model is better than an older model, in this case, when creating a new song. Of course, secondly, there's a cost, there's a speed. You'll notice a full chain of music agents, depending on the configuration, it can take a while, it can take some time. So, all to be taken into account. So, in brief, functionally, how does the flow look like? Me, as a user, I have some IDs, and I'm putting them in a CLI. I'm addressing our agents, and they can start working. And first of all, they start with a designer phase. They come up with a concept, they think of a rhythm, the structure, the arrangement of the song. Someone starts to write some lyrics to it. Keep in mind, it's Sonic Pi. In the end, we'll have some lyrics, but you'll have to sing them yourself. We come up with some arrangements, a structure of the song, which instrument will be played, and it would be quite nice having multiple instruments playing all together in parallel to give a more robust song, a fuller song. And then we come to the core of MusicAgent. That's actually the creation phase. That's where it all happens. That's where we have one agent creating the initial Sonic Pi code. We have another agent interacting, reviewing the code, another agent modifying the code, or even me interacting, saying, okay, I hear you play back the song, but there are quite some gaps in between. It's not the type of song that I tend to like. But yeah, we all have different tastes. Tastes can differ, so yeah. Next one. We come to the mastering phase, because it's not only creating a song, it should also sound more fluent. We might want to add a fade in, a fade out. We want to remove the silent gaps in between. And in the end, we also want to create our Ruby file, our Sonic Pi script, that we can even start recording it. So in the final phase, we come to the publishing phase, where we can actually start the recording of our song. We're going to create a small booklet and also a cover based on our initial input, all in the beginning, given to the CLI. And as it produces, what comes out, we have our booklet, we have our Ruby file, we have a WAV recording, or even a nice cover for our album. So we can immediately publish it on Spotify or SoundCloud, whatever we like. Okay, in terms of an architecture, as I mentioned, we start from a CLI. We are launching a bunch of Python scripts, which are actually quite limited. MusicAgent is really light in terms of code, in terms of tool. And these scripts will start launching our MUS. So we'll have our agents all communicating with one another. But the way they do this is based on lots of configuration, which we'll show directly in the demo. And it's the basis of that configuration that they will interact with one another and to come up to a final solution. Within those, they will interact with OpenAI via the REST API. They will interact with Sonic Pi via the open sound control. So they will be emitting sound and code to Sonic Pi, enabling us to play back the sound, so we can also review it from a human perspective. So we can also give our input in between our MUS, our autonomous agent. And in the end, again, same result. So in practice, we have 3 types of configuration. We define the roles of our agents. We have the different phases. With phases, think on coming up with a concept, doing the songwriting, actual writing of the code, Sonic Pi code, reviewing the code, publishing. Those are the phases. Then we got to chain them all up together, applying a correct order, and also define the amount of iteration in between. So, practical example, basic flow. We got a prompt from our user. Once one agent starts coming up with a concept, and we go along in the flow where one is starting to write some code, another one is doing a review, and coming up with the final song. So how does it result? What is it actually doing? We got our artist agent actually coming up with a complete prompt based on the input we initially gave. Whereas the agent he's talking to, our composer, will come up with a response. In this case, in the first phase, we have the concept phase. He will come up with a rhythm. He will come up with a structure, with a theme of the song, how we will continue. Other part, let's take, for example, the song code review, quite logic. It's a bit similar to how we do it in development, of course. We have a code review. Wow, that's something new. And we do some code modifications, and we can do this by using multiple iterations, going through the song. But music agents, that's the basic flow. Music agent comes with a couple of extensions. We can extend our role, our chain, our phase, and we can apply multiple ways on how we want to create our song. So, practical example again. We added, in this case, we added the human code review, meaning we have an artist asking to me, as a user, okay, please provide us your remarks of the song. What do you think about the song? How can we improve the song? So in this example, I'm missing an extra instrument. Maybe you could add a bridge, or add a second chorus, or maybe I don't really like the bass beat in between, add something else, or maybe add a repeating pattern with some short progression. That would be nice. How does it work? First of all, we start sending an OSE command to Sonic Pi. We hear the playback, then we do the review, and then we start doing the code modification. Again, depending on the configuration, we can play around with it, and we can have some more changes. So, same for song encoding, getting to the final song. But let's do a small demo, shall we? That's what we're all here for, of course. And that's about the moment I need to pray for the AI gods that everything will work. So first of all, I'm going to launch the script. And it will start asking me which model you want to use. Currently, they're limited, but we can change along the way. I'm going to use the GPT-4o Mini. Let's start with that one, because currently that's what's giving me the best result. And then it starts asking me multiple agent configurations. So we got a bunch of configuration. First of all, we got the basic configuration I mentioned earlier on, but we've also got art, we got evaluation, we got full. What does it mean? Actually, it comes with a full package of configurations. If we just take a look at the basic one, first of all, these configurations come with a package where we can see the definition of the assistant. So we already provide initial context to our assistants before they start talking to other agents. So that's what that's configured in this artist configuration, as well as the style of the artist, which is important when we'll be creating an album, and so on and so on. Secondly, there's the configuration of our phases. So there are a bunch of phases like conceptualization, and diving in. We have the segmentation, creating the structures, we have the arrangement, we get the code review, we have initial song coding, and it comes along with a full prompt on how to tackle these kind of problems. So the more, that's how we also work with, for instance, ChatGPT, the more context we provide, the more details we bring, the more easier it is to come up with an answer, the more easier it will be for our agents to help us out and to continue and to tackle the next step in the process. Then lastly, having all those, on the one hand, we have our assistants. Secondly, we have our different phases. But now we have to combine them all together. At what point, which agent will talk to another agent, and how many times will we do that? Do we do it repeatedly? Do we iterate over it or not? So, basic example in our basic flow, we have the conceptualization. It's a simple phase. We have songwriting. But we can also have more complex phases like a song code review, where we have a code review and a code modification in it. So this is how the base package come along. What's the difference with the other ones? So for instance, art, if you're not interested in creating a new song, but you didn't like the initial cover art, you can you can start a new chain, only creating the album cover. The other ones, the evaluation, the full version, the difference in between is that they will also add some playback in Sonic Pi. So they will connect to Sonic Pi, which is also configured within the creation phase. So where we can define, so we get also where we define our connection to Sonic Pi, enabling us also to play back the song, and then or for ourselves, listening to the song and providing some input in between. So if we go to the phase, we have a human interaction. So in this example, we have the human review, where we got we ourselves, putting a review on the song, and it will automatically start modifying, correcting the code the way we prefer. So I'm already gonna launch this one at configuration 2. We need to enter a name of the song. Anyone has an ID? Devox, quite original. Okay, then we get the option also to choose a type of style. Now keep in mind, Sonic Pi, again, only produces electronical music. It only has synth samples, but based on this one, based on the styling, it will come up with a structure. So it has an impact on your structure, the way instrumentation will be chosen. I hear 4, you want 4? 4 it is electro, okay. So then we come up with a description of a song, and yeah, here we can go all the way. Yeah. Think of something and we can start generating it. So anyone has an ID? French touch? So we want a French toast or French song? Touch, French touch. Do we have some other styling things we think of? French touch, maybe 60s, 70s music or dance, rather the 90s, 20s? 90s music. That will be already a different. We can do. We will see what it comes out with. But from my experience, it tends to go all the way, quite eclectic. But we'll see. We'll see what it comes out with. Let's say punk rock as a chorus, maybe, and add some classical patterns. Add some classical melodical patterns as a bridge. Okay, now it starts. So I've chosen the basic flow. So this means it will take about 5 minutes. If internet, it's all fine. If not, you all got to stop your mobile phone. You got to put it away, so I get a bit more bandwidth to come up with this. But in the meantime, you notice it started the conceptualization. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, okay, indeed. Let's start it again. So 3, 2, and I'll choose 1. Well seen, Devox 2. It was electro, and then with a French touch. Some classical, melodical. In the background, we had a punk rock. Let's do a punk rock interlude. Okay, and I can make some typos. It will work something out. Okay, while it's running, for you guys who haven't seen Sonic Pi yet, Sonic Pi comes with an IDE. It was initially developed by Sam Aaron to help kids start programming, to learn programming, because it's actually quite easy. And we can run a simple beat just like this. But I'm just launching a sample and a small intermediate stop in between. But if we go along, it can go quite further. So we can come up in the end with a basic beat. And although it seems quite limited, you can come up with quite some real interesting stuff. So you can go quite far with it. Anyone knows this one? Daft Punk, yeah. So in the meantime, he already started coding. So I'm gonna show you some examples I did previously. So I had a lot of inspiration. I created also a Devox song, for instance. Wow, how to come up with that one. So just to give you an idea already what it will bring out, with what it comes up with. First of all, we got our booklet with our README file. So why the strawberries? Let's dive to the. So we got the lyrics created. We got a song prompt, and in this song prompt, I asked, I want a song about Devox and strawberries, with some autumn melodies inspired by classical music and the 60s, 70s pop music. Okay, so it created a song, which is this one. And in this case, I only generated the Ruby file, so we only have the Sonic Pi song. So it pops out something like this. So it took about 5 minutes to generate this one, but difference between other toolings like which are using text-to-speech models, here you still have the code. We can still adapt, we can still change. If I don't like the synth blade used, I can change it by piano or something else. I'm in full control. I can still replay it, I can change the chorus, I can change the verse, I can change even the order in which it's played, which is quite nice. He comes up with the full order, and he does it always in a different way. It's not always the same way he comes up with, but you're in full control. In the end, it's code. And there's something which you can do really well, it's coding, it's developing. So that's quite nice. So let's check out where it got in the meantime. Oh, it's still modifying some code. Okay, they're still busy, let them do. Okay, so another example I made yesterday, just to give you an idea, because we're gonna create some music. You wanna hear some music, so let's hear them. So I had one, the coding song, which was completely different. So again, we had our album cover. It comes with a full prompt. And maybe just so you know, in order to launch music agents, you only need two things. You need to have Python installed, and you need to have an API key, and that's it. And you're all set. You can launch it, you can check it out, and you can start creating your own music. So another example where I put as a prompt, I want to compose a brand new song. I would like it to be the electro genre. Well, similar, so it will be something like this. I would say a song about the active journey of becoming an AI developer. Whoa. The song includes heavy beats, some beat drops, introduce patterns from Vivaldi and Beethoven, and a bass for the dance tune. So what it came up with was something like this. Okay, so I hope it already helps to get you awakened again. But it doesn't always come out this way. So that's about the tricky part. That's what we'll see currently. Is almost at the cover art. So we created one Devox 2. It's all in the meantime. It is ready. Let's reload it. So again, it came up with our full album cover. Whoa, quite. Is that a French touch, the car, or? Yeah. Must be. So we have our song. This is the prompt we put. We even have some lyrics accordingly, which we can use. So if anyone feels like singing, he can do so, of course. Also quite nice to see is it comes with a full log. So you get all the full conversation being held in between the agents, the prompts that are being used, and also the answers being provided are also all can all be retrieved. So in the end, this is our song that we have, and I'm as curious as you. I have no idea what will come out. So that's this is the fun part of it. Okay, do I have still a track open? Yeah, there it is. So curious what they've done with the punk rock part, but that doesn't do a lot, quite a lot. So that's what happens now and then. So okay. So I'm going to stop it over here. This time I only use the configuration with 2 iterations on the code reviewing process. So ideally, you mix it up with agent code reviewing and some human reviewing, where you got a playback, and also with the connection to Sonic Pi, which I didn't use this time. While connecting to Sonic Pi, it will also validate, it will check if it compiles or not. So in this case, he uses a short which doesn't exist. What also tends to happen is that it uses synths or samples that doesn't exist, because of the limited database currently of samples and beats available in Sonic Pi. But the longer you take the chain, the more iterations you provide, the better it comes out with a proper song. But again, in the end, a song which we can adapt, which we can change to our needs, to our taste, and how we like the song. Okay then. So we had a small view on the demo. As a conclusion, what I would like to add is there was a lot of fuzz about 1 year ago when ChatGPT came out with his new models. One artist came into light, Nick Cave. I hope you know them. I do really hope you know them. If not, he's playing at the Sportpaleis quite shortly, I think. And he received a lot of lyrics from generated by ChatGPT. And his response to it was, okay, it's blood and guts business here at my desk that requires something new of me to initiate a new and fresh idea. And finally he said, it requires my humaneness. This time I was creating a song. I was trying to create an electronical song by using multiple agents, by using generative AI. Even if we're creating a song, or we're developing new code, or we're generating tests, or we're using generative AI in our daily life, it still comes to us as a human to know, okay, in this case, we know what taste, what do we like not. If it's an image, if it's a song, but also in coding, we are there to connect the dots, to make things work, to make it be something that we can work with, that we like. So I really like the quote, because in this case he's talking about his own songs, but it also applies to our daily life. So to wrap up with what's next, there are still some enhancements to be made to the recording. So already today it's creating recordings for a Windows machine, not on a Mac, unfortunately. But we'll also start including some samples to the composition, which also make it possible to add speech to the songs. The code is publicly available on GitHub, and you can also find more information about it on my blog, mightyjohn.com. So feel free to check it out, or check out the songs at SoundCloud. So let's all get started on it, shall we? Shall we all start creating songs? And if you have some questions, some more questions about it, please come and look me up at our booth from Soprasteria. You can always find me there if you have some more questions about it, or you would like to have a taste of it, or want to see how to really work with MusicAgent. Thank you.
All systems are nominal. Initialize Genesis